Umapaw ng suporta at panalangin ang panibagong post ni Kris Aquino sa kanyang social media. Kasalukuyan ngayong nasa Texas, USA si Kris para sa kanyang gamutan. Ayon sa ginawang open letter ni Kris para sa kanyang pumanaw na kapatid na si dating Pangulong Noynoy Aquino, ay naibahagi nito na bukod sa sakit ni Kris ay nagpositibo din sila sa COVID-19. Kabilang ang kanyang dalawang anak na si Josh at Bim. June 20 umano nang magpositibo si Josh at sumunod naman si Bim. Narito ang buong open letter ni Miss Kris Aquino. Dear Noy, sorry that our greeting for your first birthday in heaven is coming 5 days late. Not necessary to explain to you because you know you see everything. But for the others who don't, Kuya Josh tested COVID positive June 20 Texas time. We blew here June 3, but missed his birthday because he was in LA with some really kind-hearted friends. Your ever-faithful Rochelle brought Bim home because she was his assigned guardian in his DSWD papers. I had to do this corticosteroid challenge, which unfortunately caused me to have unbelievable body pain. Well, lesson learned. I should always trust my instincts. 2 hours after being given such a baby dose, I think 50 or 60 mg given diluted through my IV divided in 5 doses given every 30 minutes. My BP didn't use significantly. But 2 hours after what everything the steroid should help, like make antihistamines work better. Lessen pain and inflammation, the opposite happened to me. First, the hive started multiplying, then my body started to hurt all over. Normally, my pain tolerance is impressive, but this time, Bunso started sobbing. Then, of course, my BB went haywire. The two left for LA May 3 to wait for me, but so many times my departure had to be moved. I knew I was allergic to morphine. I was able to tolerate propofol and fentanyl for my procedures in Singapore, as well as in St. Luke's Global, but when it was purely fentanyl, sobrang grabe. The effect hives from my face to my ankles. That happened to me 2 hours after the corticosteroid steroid challenge, because for most autoimmune issues, steroids are the first line of defense. My gut instinct said to just say no, but somehow with 4 doctors present, I did say yes, because I figured nothing to lose by trying and there were 4 of them who could revive me. We started on the Friday before elections, but finished Saturday and they couldn't leave me until almost sunrise. I was sedated from Saturday, May 7, until May 11 because my pain was just so hard to endure. I do remember that I cried to Bim and said to please come home. I knew enough that they had bought the VIP tour for Disneyland for May 12 and Kuya Josh was super excited for that. I could disappoint him because Pin and her kids were flying in. Bim and Rochelle flew home and finally we left together with Nurse Eloy, my anesthesiologist, Dr. Lim, and Ann Binay. Rochelle flew separately so that she could pick up Kuya, but he had already made plans and invited people to go to Disneyland again for his birthday. Noy, I wanted to be able to post good news, so let me start with that. My kidneys and my liver are still functioning normally, praise God. Don't ask me about our flight because my BP was elevated, 167 over 90. When I woke up, it went down because our plane had engine problems, so I was able to drink medicine to help bring it down and it was stable enough when we flew after lunch. But for the whole flight, including the refueling stop, I was sedated and fast asleep. It was Monday, June 5, when I had my first dose of the medicine we flew here for. I now understand, Noy, why you choose to keep your illness to yourself. My realization came because I do feel peace, and since no info will be coming from me after this post, I am closing one area of stress that I really don't want nor welcome. But I do want to express my heartfelt gratitude for all who have prayed for me to get better. But I do have multiple autoimmune syndrome before I had two autoimmune thyroiditis and chronic spontaneous urticaria. SLE or lupus has remained a question mark. I am near the borderline, have 3 out of 5 of the prerequisites that would absolutely confirm I have it. But 3 out of 5 could just be warning that it's there. But for right now, it's still asleep. My third confirmed autoimmune condition is vasculitis, but leave it to your sister. There are different types of vasculitis. I had to have a very rare type. It was formerly known as Church-Strauss syndrome, but now it's EGPA. We came here for me to try mepolizumab, not yet FDA approved in Singapore nor the Philippines. For a patient to get the full effect, you need 300 mg every month. I was told it had much less side effects than Solaire. By now, you know that Bunso enjoys being different, but this was too much of a shock less than 2 days after my first 300 mg dose was given. It was almost a week before I somehow semi-recovered. I was the allergy clinic's first ever patient to react that way. I wish it ended there. Next, we tried cromolyn, which was supposed to help me slowly reintroduce solid food into my body. Who doesn't want to eat? How I wish healthy people could understand that for some who are ill, mast cells are the reason we find it so hard to tolerate food. Straight to where we are right now. Noy, obvious na obvious, and favoritism. Kuya Josh tested positive for COVID on June 20. Nurse took his temperature, then they got antigen kits tested him first because he was so unlike himself. He was just lying down on the sofa, no energy to play or watch YouTube on his phone. I was in our room upstairs asleep. Nurse woke me up to tell me that Kuya was positive. I was honestly couldn't understand what she was trying to tell me until Bim came to explain and he told me to please put on a mask. He helped me go downstairs. My instinct was to go and hug Kuya, but everyone told me I needed to leave immediately and move to a hotel with a nurse and Bim because I was severely immunocompromised and being COVID positive could mean ICU for me. A new friend here in Houston helped us get in touch with a nurse practitioner, the second in command of her family medicine doctor, so that he could issue a prescription for Paxlovid for Kuya Josh. We had difficulty understanding each other because I was outdoor and wearing a face mask, but what frightened me was when he said, Miss Aquino, your son will survive this. It's you and your younger asthmatic son I am more worried about. Please move elsewhere as soon as you can. It was heartbreaking to leave Kuya. I felt I was abandoning him in our time of need. That night, Nurse Christina came to our hotel and she gave all of us PCR tests. The result came out midnight of the 21st. At that point, we were all still negative. This is when you know you can really count on who will love you come what may. May 22, Anne was telling Kuya Josh that she was leaving that night and going back to LA. Kuya hugged her and he started sobbing. Anne then made up her mind, set her own safety aside and promised Kuya she would stay with him. By the 23rd mid-morning, I asked Nurse Eloy to please check my temperature because I had chills and something was off. True enough, I had fever. I said to please get the antigen test kit. Nurse Eloy tried to remain calm but in less than 5 minutes, both red lines had appeared. Kuya was already at the same hotel so I told them to please take BIM. I was exhausted and fell asleep. When I woke up and asked how was Bim, Anne said for almost 7 hours he had just been asleep. Mother's instinct kicked in. I said please do an antigen test on him. True enough, less than 12 hours after me, Bim was also COVID positive. Since this was already your death anniversary, somehow I felt reassured knowing that the three of us would get through this new ordeal, especially because you would never allow us to have a death date so close to yours. I even joked with you. I said, Noy, you are super bida now because you're the only one with mom and dad. If I die, Bunso will of course get the majority of their attention and for sure, you won't like that. Then I said seriously, Noy, help me please, these two only have me. Please help me survive this. 2 weeks after I'm totally COVID-free, I need to do 3-4 more shots of Soler given every other week for my chronic spontaneous urticaria. Then I rest for 2 to 3 weeks. Hopefully, I have stronger immunity then. Noy, Bunso has only one road left open to her. Sadly for Kuya and Bim because ultimately my two are the victims. I need to try Rituxan to spare everyone from having to Google and for all to understand why I'm now choosing to say goodbye for now. Rituxan is an immunosuppressant. In straightforward language, it is chemotherapy, but also used for some complicated autoimmune cases like mine. Others finish their cycle in 1 month, one infusion every week. They want to take it slower with me because of how unpredictable my reaction to medicine is. They will split one infusion into second and give that to me every other week. So what others will finish in 4 weeks, I shall hopefully finish in 8 weeks, barring any complications. Then I rest for 4 to 5 months and do another cycle or switch to another type of chemo. Only after 8 to 10 weeks after my first cycle can they test to see if my numbers somewhat improve. Matagal Noy, definitely a test of fortitude and endurance. But before any of that, I need my existing PICC line removed and reinserted and they need to do a nuclear chest scan. Ngayon, alam nyo na through my open letter to Noy what Kuya Josh, Bim, and I must face in the next year and a half. Please know that I remain thankful for all the concern and prayers you have sent our way. But during very difficult times, I want to just keep the suffering to myself with only a family and trusted friends, kept informed on a need-to-know basis. Because everyone else is also going through their own personal trials. Ang hirap ng buhay para sa marami. Nakakahiyang maging pabigat pa ako. I know me impossible na hindi ako umamin pag hirap na. So for now, focus tayo on ourselves. We all have problems. We all have worries and we all have hardships. God bless us all until our reunion.
We're alive.
Magka-take in thoughts very soon.
Mga 1 month.
1 month pa.
Yeah. After July 23.
Ah,
Pwede na.
naman na lapit.
Ate, we're alive. We miss you. Bye.
Bye, Tita Bolsy.
Yeah.
Stop na?
What time is it now?
I don't
I've
know.
been awake for 27 hours. Bye.